What's up, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, and we're back with some more Anti-Flag. And indeed, we're going to listen to a tune from their third album. The first album, I already reacted to Confused Youth from that, from the album Die for the Government. That's when they had a singer, I believe his real name was Andy Briggs, Andy Flag. Although I think they were around for like a decade before that. I didn't remember, but I was reading recently, and apparently they were doing shows as early as like '88, but they didn't put out their first album until late '96. May even been released early '97. I think it was late '96. Either way, that was Die for the Government. Then Andy Flag left the band. Justin Sane took over the lead singing duties, and then eventually there were other people who joined the band. Chris number 2, Chris Head. Basically, they're ultimately, I think it's a 5-piece now, but it originally was a 3-piece, and then I believe by the time of their second album, A New Kind of Army, that was on Go-Kart, I believe they had become a 4-piece. And then Underground Network, which is the one we're going to listen to, that was their first album on Fat. I love it. It's fantastic. They put out 2 albums on Fat. The second one, which came a couple years later, The Terror State, also fantastic. We'll have to come back and react to at least a few tunes from that one. But this song, This Machine Kills Fascists, if you didn't know, it's sort of an homage to Woody Guthrie. Woody Guthrie, sort of folk rock and very progressive sort of activist, like a real sort of champion of the people. He had at one point put a note onto one of his guitars that said, "This machine kills fascists." So shout out to Woody Guthrie. But this song, I think, has a very specific meaning. They came from the Pittsburgh area. That's where they got their start. I think they're still sort of located in that area. But this song is about sort of the infiltration of the punk scene and, you know, progressive shows with progressive bands and fans. By like ultra-nationalists and, you know, white supremacists and basically far-right troublemakers looking to get into fights, looking to ultimately, you know, get the cops called on punk shows that, you know, with bands whose values I guess they strongly disagree with. But basically it's like right-wing troublemakers causing problems in the punk scene and at punk shows with progressive bands and fans. And so this is the collective reply of Anti-Flag and other bands and other fans who share their sort of progressive ethos and values, because it's basically saying, like, this machine collectively, we say fuck you, like, get the fuck out of here, like, it kills fascists. So ultimately, I think it does have a very specific meaning. Now, you could obviously apply that to the punk ethos and value more broadly and say that, you know, the punk movement is about pushing back against, like, mindless nationalism and, like, race-based nationalism and so on. But again, I think when they wrote this, it specifically relates to, you know, incidents or events in the scene that they were in. Though again, as someone from California, I can't speak to anything specific. But that's what I think the song is about. Let me know if you have further information or so on. Like I said, I appreciate all additional information. My other channel was a lot of techno stuff, and, you know, there are a lot of people who follow me who are producers or people who, like, were involved with these labels, and occasionally they would chime in with additional information. Actually, if you didn't know, such and such about, you know, this release. So please do let me know if you have additional information. But that's the way I take this song. So with all that, here we go from 2001. Underground Network, this is This Machine Kills Fascists by Anti-Flag. Some of their songs have like a crass quality to them. Love that low end. That's right. Like this part right here is a bit crass. You don't have to be a racist to be a Nazi fuck. Your mindless nationalism gives you credentials enough. Just be a right-wing rhetoric, we'll win your attention. It's taking the proxy for never gonna be good again. More infiltration, never mind the odds. We've done the wrong and nothing. We'll fight you till we die. That's for shame. Shout out to Justin Sane, man. That's for shame. That's for shame. man, shout out. I love, you know, it's funny, like, I mentioned that Andy Flagg had a perfect voice for that first album and his sort of like gritty, like raspy quality, but definitely Justin Stain stepping in to lead vocal duties here. Absolutely brilliant. I realized, you know, the album before, but ultimately, he really can get to that raspy, rough place too, even though I think his voice has like a higher vocal register. No, it's fantastic. And again, like, you know, the idea that like people would go to shows to like, and you know, I'm a big fan of Propagandhi. I heard of Propagandhi getting fucked with at some shows in some places like Bakersfield and so on, which have a history of having, let's say, ethnic nationalism problems. So yeah, the idea of like punks banding together to like, yo, you right-wing assholes trying to start fights and whatever, get the fuck out of here. So yeah, like I said, without knowing the specifics, I do think that's what the song is about, and I respect the sort of passion with which punks in that scene would be feeling the sentiment of this song. And again, shout out to Woody Guthrie. If you haven't seen the photo, go look it up. It might even be like, you know, one of the photos on his Wikipedia page. But yeah, he just has that guitar with "This Machine Kills Fascists," which, you know, in his time, like, we're talking, you know, the original fascist. So ultimately, I really do like that song. I really do like the homage to Woody Guthrie, and I like the passion that Justin sings with in that song. So let me know if you enjoy it. Let me know if you like this album. Like I said, the whole thing is great. I don't think this is a bad Anti-Flag album, but the period from like the mid 90s, like basically their first like proper album up to, I want to say maybe like yeah, I don't know, the Terror State. Basically, I don't think it's a bad album, but I think the period from like I don't know, like 97 to about like 04 or so is like my real favorite period from them. It's certainly the period where I know their material the best. But let me know if there's a song that you'd like to see me react to from Anti-Flag, or any other punk rock band, or any of the other bands that you see back here. Or if you're a techno person, let me know what record you'd like to hear. Bottom line, trying to make this channel more diverse than my original channel, which again, it was very techno heavy, although right toward the end of it, I was trying to get more diverse anyway. But like I said, I feel like maybe the one silver lining of having to come over to this new channel is that I can make things a bit more varied and feel like, you know, from the beginning, that's just what this channel is. So regardless, let me know if you enjoyed. I do appreciate you listening and watching. Have a good day, have a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace.